All right, welcome back in, guys, to the 2019 DME Media Day. I'm James Phillips, and now we're joined by the Jasper Vikings. Head coach Brian Moore, this is his second season. They're in Class 5A Region 7. Their 2018 record was 11-2 and 7-0 in the region. They were the region champs. Coach Moore, if you will, please introduce yourself and your players, and then give an opening statement, and then the members of the media ask you guys questions.
I'm Brian Moore. This is my second year at Jasper. Glad to be here. It's been a great year, and we've got some great guys coming back. To my left is Andre Reese. Andre is a senior defensive lineman, probably one of the most improved players on our football team. He's changed his body a lot, gotten a lot bigger and stronger, and he's really one of our leaders, especially on that defensive line. To my right is Caden Shelton. Caden is a running back for us that a lot of people know. He's able to do a lot of stuff and is a very versatile player. Plays all three sports at Jasper. He's very valuable to our school. And then last is Hunter Tidwell. Hunter is a 3-year starter. He played in a lot of games as a 10th grader and then started 13 games for us last year, and is really our leader up front offensively. And he and really Drake Roberts will be the two main guys, our two guards this season. You know, last year was a great ride. We were proud of what our kids accomplished. We had an incredible senior class, one that we will miss, but we've got some guys coming back that can pick up the slack there. But we're expecting big things. You know, expectations are good. Expectations mean that you've won. There were no expectations in 2018, and there are a lot this year. So we wear that. You know, we're used to it. We're okay with that, the challenge, and we're just excited to kick the year off in less than a month.
Coach, morning. Good to see you. Look forward to a lot of more shows like we did last year.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you've got a lot of key players that are coming back. The guys that you're returning right now, specifically what I'm looking at is defense right now. Andre's going to be a big factor on that. I know EJ, he kind of missed a lot last year with injury, but when he was in, he was stellar. You guys got guys like Sheldrick. Who are some of the other guys, some of the names that we haven't heard a whole lot of, who you guys are looking to make a big impact this year?
Yeah, last year we had really two. There were 4 total kids defensively that were seniors that played, 2 of which were starters. So we really brought a lot back defensively. You know, obviously Michael Woods and Ronnie Holiday, losing those guys is tough. But we bring a lot back. Kentavious Catlin is back. Sheldrick Cherry's back. The addition to our football team of Jacob Danner has been big for us. A name that I think you need to watch for is Kevon Samuels. Kevon is a corner that moved into us from Detroit of all places, and started out playing quarterback, but has had a good year or a good summer so far. DeRay Ferris is another senior that's played corner that's done a really good job, and then a couple the juniors up front. EJ is going to move down to more of a defensive end spot instead of a buck linebacker position. Brody Vincent is back. Has added about 40 pounds. Brody played at about 210. He's 250 now. And then Jaden Vance played a bunch and had a lot of TFLs. He had tackles for loss and sacks last year. He'll do a really good job. And then, of course, the anchor, I think, though, defensively outside of our D-line is our 2 inside linebackers that return after playing all 13 games. Harrison Saunders, who probably would be with us and be our 4th guy here, but he's out of town. He made 140 tackles last year, played every snap at inside linebacker. And then Taurus Rudolph, who really did a good job there as well. So we're bringing back a lot of experience, especially in the box. You know, with our 3 defensive linemen, our 2 inside linebackers. But then on top of that, with Sheldrick Cherry moving back, he was a rover last year, outside linebacker. He'll move back to safety. And then Caden Marchbanks played as a freshman last year. He'll be a sophomore that I talked about him being the honey badger, like the Matthew kid that played at LSU. He just gets his hand on the football, intercepts a lot of passes. I mean, he'll really do a good job. He's very rangy in the back end. So we're excited. Our defense is going to have to carry us. Our defense and our running backs will have to carry us through the early part of this season as we bring in a new quarterback, but we know they can do that.
And the second question that I've got, and this is actually for all of you, Coach included, what are some of the personal goals that you have for this upcoming season?
I'll let Caden handle that one, and then I'll kind of move the mic around a little bit. So, we talk a lot about goals. I think there's a big difference between our goals and our purpose, though, and our purpose is to be good people, our goal is to win games and all that. But I'll let them talk about that. But again, if we're talking about goals, I always try and add our purpose because football is a game that's going to teach us about life. And we say that, a lot of coaches do. Sometimes it's lip service. We really mean it at Jasper. And so we have big goals. But again, ultimately, our goal is our purpose is to be good people, good men, and do the right things on and off the field. So Caden will take the goals first.
Some of our goals are come closer with each other and go undefeated at home.
Some of our other goals is better leadership and just winning more games.
You asked for personal goals. I said personally that I'd like to be a better team player because as a D lineman, it's my job to keep the offensive line off my linebacker so they can make multiple tackles. And I really enjoy doing that because I feel like people really appreciate what you do, even though it's not really a big thing that most people know.
All right, Coach. Year one you take over a 3-win team, a jump to 11. What do you attribute that? What was the difference? Or the players can also talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I tell the coaches all the time. We talk to our seniors about it. Hopefully, as coaches, we're going to have a lot of senior classes. We're going to have, a long tenure as coaches, and this is what we're going to do until we retire. But as our seniors, you have one shot at it, and those guys made the most of it. Michael Creer and Cole Bonner and Ryan Pugh and all those guys that were seniors. I mean, they really took our team and I never thought of them as losers or guys that didn't know how to win. I thought they were a step off here or there, or they were missing a piece. And fortunately, they were able to come together and put that piece together and piece that puzzle where we made it work, and we reeled off, 11 straight wins, which is it was an unbelievable ride. Obviously we didn't finish it the way we wanted to, but it was a great ride, and it has to do with players. I mean, we can lead as coaches and do all the things that, everything that we can, but ultimately, they're leading this team. They're leading that locker room. When they're out there, I tell them my work is Monday through Thursday, and on Friday it's your show. I'm going to stand back and watch you play. And so when you're out there in the trenches and all that kind of stuff that's going on within a ball game, they have to lead, and they've got to execute at a high level. And so all the credit goes to our senior class last year. And just the buy-in of our community as well. Our school system, it's one thing to go out and try to do everything you can as a football coach, but you got to have backing. Your administration has to be there for you. And, Jonathan Allen and Jonathan Jordan and, all of our APs and all the way up to our superintendent and all the people in central office, they're behind us, as evident as what's going on at our field, in our stadium this offseason. They want Jasper to be a special place. And it took a buy-in of an entire town to make that happen, obviously along with our assistant coaches who really did an incredible job. But ultimately, it all has to do with the players. This is a player-led game, and our seniors did that last year.
Okay, maybe the players, can y'all compare last year's field at the end of the year to what you have now? Just take me through, what was that feel like in the playoffs?
It was 5-foot deep mud, like a pool out there. And this year, we just have a nice little bouncy field to play on.
It was especially difficult for the offensive line trying to get our footing. So with the new turf, it'll be easier for us to get our footing and everything.
I feel like it was more of an advantage for us being at home. It's muddy. No one's used to playing on that. And, the other team really slip and fall, kind of an advantage to us. But I really enjoy the new turf. It's really soft, really nice. Looks great.
Coach, do you see, is it going to be different this year having the target on your back after winning the region championship?
Well, there's no question. I mean, you go into the Coleman game last year, and nobody, including me, had an idea of what to expect from our players. It's one thing to practice and, go up against each other and, all that stuff, but we had no idea, nobody, our fans, the expectation. And, to be honest, it was a little bit of frustration when we lost that game, with 3 seconds left, in that people were excited about, the fact that we were even close in the ball game. And I'm pretty blunt. And I said, guys, it's not the goal, man. The goal is not to be in ball games. But we want expectations. Again, expectations means that you're successful, and so we're not afraid of that. We don't want to be underdogs. We want to go in and expect to win every night. And so sure, people know who we are across the state of Alabama now. Obviously, beating the state champion, at our place last year. But our expectations are high, and we expect to win every game, and we expect to go out and compete, and I hope our town feels the same way.
All right. There are a few big games that you're going to be playing this year. You've got Coleman, you've got Russellville, and then you've got the reigning state champions, Central Clay County. How do you prepare for these games with the new expectations?
Well, coach speak is that you try and prepare the same way every week. That's coach speak. That's what we're supposed to say. But obviously our players know when it's big games. They know when, they know what the Coleman game means to our town, and they know what Central Clay, after, being the state champions, they know that, that's going to be a battle on the road. We've done that. We did that in my 2 years at Eufaula, that we played them. We went on the road one time and played and won there. It's a very difficult place to play. We know that Russellville, I don't know that anybody expected the region championship game to go down like that. We reeled off 42 unanswered points in that game. Nobody expected that to happen. And so they're going to have, a chip on their shoulder to try and get back in that game. There's no question. But, you have to rise to the occasion. You got to play your best football in those big games. And I think our players will do that.
Coach, I'm Johnny Thornton. I'm from Coleman with Coleman Sports Bay, WKOR Radio. Last week you was in the All-Star game, and you got to coach on the North staff, and also you coached with Oscar Glasscock of Coleman. Did you get an opportunity to visit with him, just have a conversation between yourself and him, as you were together last week, and now about a month from this time you'll be playing each other up at your new artificial surface at Jasper High School?
Yeah, Coach is a great guy. I mean, he really is. He's Oscar's been a lot of places. He's been successful in those places, including a stop at Mountain Brook, and he's, I believe, from Coleman. And so that meant a lot to that community to bring Oscar back. But he's a great guy. We had a great time. At the beginning, I was a little hesitant because I was the offensive coordinator in the game, and Oscar's coaching defense, and I didn't know what advantage that might give him or me. But we had a great relationship. Still do. I talked with him yesterday. But I think that's good for our communities, that we're doing things like that together. I just think a lot of him, and I know he's going to do a really good job at kind of turning that last season around for Coleman. And I know they're really excited about having him. But that was a unique experience in what you would call, I guess, a rivalry game, to have coaches that have worked together and have a prior relationship. I think that's a really good thing.
Coach, a couple of quick questions. You alluded to it a little bit about your expectations, but how different is it going to be this year being the hunted instead of the hunter? And also for your players, what does it mean to them to have someone, I'll say I'm from Tuscaloosa down there, have someone like Tyrone Prothro on the staff to kind of help the players see what you can overcome?
Sure. Well, first part of the question, I think the, being the hunted again is, if you're trying to develop a program, you're eventually hopefully going to get to that point. And that's where we are, and we know that people are, again, they rise to the occasion. Kids are competitive. They're going to want to rise up and knock off a team that won 11 games, or, knock off a third round team. They're going to want to get in there and win those games and play at a high level. And obviously, with us, putting as much into our program as we have, as far as a new surface and all those kinds of things, there's pressure there. And, I just think you have to handle that the right way. And, usually when you get in a ball game, the first snap or two, it's kind of, you feel that, or you feel the crowd or whatever. But after that, really, you don't even notice anybody's there, and you just line up and play football. And I know people say that a lot, but it's really true. You have to be able to push those external factors out, and just internally handle your emotions and the pressure of the game. And then secondly, with Tyrone being there, obviously, his success, is big on the field, and you got the catch and the SB and all those kinds of things. But more than that is really he's a good person, and so he's a model, just like the rest of our staff. They're role models to our players. They don't act differently when they come in the field house, because the players there, and then go outside of it and do anything crazy. We don't have character issues on our staff, and so having a guy like Tyrone that he's only done it 1 or 2 times, but he'll bring his his letters and some different things. And, we have character ed every day. Every single day we do character ed. And so Coach will go in, and these guys can, attest to this. He'll go in and he'll say, this is what it takes. This is what I went through. This is what you may go through as far as being recruited. And he wants to guide them along the way. If you continue to act the way that you're acting, then you're never going to make it at Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee or wherever you might go. You're never going to make it there. And I think that it speaks volumes because it comes from a guy that's been there, along with a lot of other members of our staff. Darius Gilbert played at Alabama. We have other college football, former college players on our staff that can help the guys. Hey, you're going to have to do this the right way or you're never going to be successful. And obviously that turns into a life lesson. But having a guy like that's really special. And that's why, we went after him as a coach. He was down in Spanish Fort, and I didn't know him. And we went after him, and we said, listen, get close to your family there in Tuscaloosa and come on up here to Jasper and coach football, and end up, making that happen.
Coach, you touched very, very briefly on new quarterbacks. Obviously, we know Michael Career had an outstanding season last year, has graduated. Can you touch briefly on some of the guys that are competing for that role? What have you seen thus far with them?
Yeah, we have a lot of options, which we're sort of narrowing that focus down and getting more information. Yesterday we were at Decatur. And both of our quarterbacks played really well. One played with the JV, one played with the varsity, but they threw probably 200 balls apiece, and then we had Carbon Hill came in, and I know Coach is going to go next, but they came in on Monday, and we were able to gather more information. I know he was able to do the same thing with his team, and so we were able to see some growth. Parker Sawyer is a guy that is a big-time baseball player, and we got him out to play football, and he did a really nice job Monday and Tuesday, and he's been working in there, and Spencer Rosenfeld's been in there, and Avrion Berry's been in there, and so we've got a lot of options. I think you're going to see multiple kids play in the game in certain packages, and trying to make up for all that Mike was able to do. Mike was so versatile, you never had to take him off the field, so now we've got to find guys that can, basically serve all those roles for us within our program, but we're going to go all the way up to game 1, and the good news is that our quarterbacks are spaced out. So Parker's going to be a junior, Avrion's going to be a senior, Spencer Rosenfeld's going to be a freshman that's actually competing for the job. He's really special, and so we've got a lot of options there. But I think it's going to work itself out. But obviously defensively, and then as I mentioned earlier, our running backs are going to have to help us in our offensive line. Our veteran offensive line is going to help us get through those first few games. You hear people say that all the time, where we don't ask too much of our quarterback. And as we go through the season, we can put more and more on his back as we go.
Coach, we talked about the new field. Can you talk about the Jumbotron y'all have coming in?
Yeah, so, we're adding a Jumbotron. It's 25 feet wide and 10 feet tall. It was really cool. So this morning we were taking pictures, our team pictures, and so we did the intro videos and all that kind of stuff. So, that's going to be that's a unique thing. Sometimes when you have, as I mentioned, buy-in from your community and buy-in from your administration, things just start happening for you. And if you live the right way and you do things the right way, good things happen. And that's what's going on at Jasper right now. I truly think it's a sleeping giant. And I think that we're getting there. We're just scratching the surface on the success that we can have, and the facilities that we can have. Our football stadium and that campus over there, Old Walker High School, really did not match the new school. Jasper High School is beautiful and perfect, unbelievable, but it's getting there. We're going to turf our baseball field, and like I said, add that Jumbotron and all that. So it's going to be really unique once we're done with it. But we're excited. We're excited about all the new things that are coming with our field. But the Jumbotron is going to add a new experience. It's going to add advertisement, marketing, for people, and a way for us to raise money. Big picture. I mean, truly, obviously show our players off in a good way, but also raise some money, because you got to have 3 things to be successful. You got to have players. That's first and foremost forever. You got to have some good coaching. Hopefully we have that. And then you got to have your resources. You got to have enough money to go do things and develop things. And we're hopefully putting all those things together right now.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us today. You guys looking forward to a great season. As you mentioned, the excitement that it's in our community, I think you guys, the passion that you guys are showing, that's what's brought the excitement to the community. And it's a great thing to watch, and we hope you have a great season this season.
Hey, thank you guys, for everybody, Daily Mountain Eagle, and everybody that covers our media. I've said this before. Our media is second to none. Like, this is an unbelievable venue for high school sports. For the way that you guys do it. So I just appreciate everything that's pushed out in the paper and all the clips on Facebook and everything, the radio covering our stuff. So thank you guys. Thanks for setting this up, and we just appreciate everything you guys do. And go Vikes.
Guys, real quick before we go, with this segment, I want to mention our first sponsor of the day. That sponsor is Southern Orthopedics Sports Medicine. They've been serving Jasper now for over 35 years, bringing you the best in general orthopedic surgery, hand and foot surgery, spine surgery, sports medicine, and joint reconstruction and replacement. Additionally, Dr. Jeffrey Cuomo serves as the team physician for Jasper City Schools. You'll see him on the sidelines each week with the Vikings. We appreciate Southern Orthopedic for being a sponsor here at Media Days and also for being our title sponsor for PrepZone this season. So now we will take a short break, and then we'll be back with the Carbon Hill Bulldogs as our next team.